Welcome to Precalculus. In this video, we shall graph parabola with vertex at the origin. So we will not go straight into graphing any parabola. Let us begin with something simple, something that is easy to recognize and graph. So that would be a parabola whose vertex is at the origin. What must we pay attention to? So we must pay attention to the vertex. At least in this example, we already know that to be the origin. We must set the axis. Okay, so we must know what is the axis. Is it vertical or horizontal? A graph can look something like this. The axis is vertical. When the axis is horizontal, this is how your graph might look like. We must also pay attention to the direction of your parabola, and we can tell that from the value of A. Let's say, for example, our axis is vertical, A is negative, so our parabola opens downward. On the other hand, if A is positive and our axis is again vertical, our parabola opens upward. So this one is when our axis is horizontal, but A is less than 0. And that one is when our axis is horizontal and our A is positive. The next guy that we must pay attention to is the focal width. So in order to get to the focal width, okay, so the key word there is the focus. So this is what we must do. From the vertex, let us locate the focus. From the focus, we will draw your latus rectum. Okay, so that latus rectum there has endpoints. They lie on the parabola. This line segment here will tell us the focal width. Again, the focal width is the measure of the width or narrowness of your parabola. Let us agree on the axis. Is it vertical or horizontal? Does it open to the left or right, up or down? Then we go to the focus. From the focus, we draw your latus rectum. It will produce those 2 points. And then we trace a curve through those 3 points. Let us work on one example. Sketch the graph of x squared is equal to 8y. So this one has its vertex at the origin. We must see the axis. Is it vertical or horizontal? Okay, look at that. It's x, which is squared. So this means our axis is vertical. Let us write that in such a way that we can see the value of a. X squared is equal to 8y. Let us factor out 4. So a is equal to 2. It is positive. What does that mean? Our parabola opens upward. If this is a quiz, if this is an exam, in one corner of your paper, i-drawing nyo yan. You draw a parabola that opens upward. That will be your guide. We are not yet done with graphing. We are just laying down the important things that we must know so that we can sketch the graph. Okay, so what are the things that we know? Vertex at the origin. Okay. The distance of our focus is 2. Okay, it's positive. That means your focus is above your vertex. So you count 2. 1, 2. And then we must go to your latus rectum, because the latus rectum will tell you the width or the focal width of your parabola. We are sketching the graph of a parabola here. So what do we know? This is what we know. The length of the latus rectum is the absolute value of 4 times a. But a is 2, so 8. Okay, so the length of all that, of this whole line segment is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You locate one point of your latus rectum there, or the end point of your latus rectum. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. You locate another end point of your latus rectum. And then from there, you trace your graph.